our wise teaching a day from our Buddhist calendar. Today is February 25th, and it says, originally there is no good or evil in people's hearts. Originally there is no good or evil in people's hearts. What does this mean to us? This means that we are born without any permanent good or bad morals. And it also lets us know that our actions and the intention of those actions as we live in this life have consequences, and those consequences determine what is evil and what is good. So therefore, we're talking about good karma and bad karma. And in the Buddhist view, that we all have the opportunity, because nothing is permanent, even our bad karma and good karma, that in this life we can create good karma. So think about the intention behind your actions and the consequences, and that's what this is talking about. If anybody does not have a Buddhist calendar and would like one, they're free and they're on the table as you walk into the temple. I'd also like to mention that today is the 4th Sunday of the month, and I'll be holding chanting practice after service today at 11:30. So in the last couple of weeks, we have talked about loving kindness and compassion. Loving kindness is the practice of wishing that all living beings may enjoy happiness. And the remedy to overcome hatred and anger is loving kindness. Compassion is the practice of wishing that all living beings were free from suffering. A feeling of wanting to help those who are suffering as if the suffering was your own. And the remedy to overcome cruelty is compassion. I'm not sure if I was thinking about this this morning, and I had a reflection that in my lifetime I have witnessed, and when I think about myself, I witnessed the same in me, but I didn't notice it at first. But I noticed that some people, when it comes to compassion and to end, like to wish that someone else's suffering would they be free from suffering, that if you ever known someone who was sick or was really in a bad state, you may see some people that really want to help them and are trying everything they can to get them out of it and support them. And you may see others that they want nothing to do with it and just wish they would go away, be out of their sight, and suffer on their own, and when they're feeling better, to come back. And I noticed that in myself as well when I reflected a little deeper, that sometimes I have great compassion, or I think I do, and I'm very helpful, but other times I could be more thinking about myself and not so supportive, and it's difficult to find that compassion. So I found that interesting as I was reflecting on that this morning. So today, I would like to talk about sympathetic joy. Sympathetic joy is the practice of finding joy in the happiness and success of others. Now, finding happiness and joy in the success and happiness of others, regardless if they are family, friends, co-workers, or strangers. The remedy for jealousy is sympathetic joy. Sympathetic joy, compassion, loving kindness are practices that help us overcome our self-centeredness. Now, we might think to ourselves, being truly happy for the happiness and success of others seems rather difficult, especially if success of another person was something that I really wanted and I worked very hard for, but was unsuccessful. Sympathetic joy is developed from the Buddhist understanding of interconnectedness, that everything is interdependent. Interdependence is the view that life is a web of conditions. So you can think of a fisherman's net, you can think of a spider's web, it's all connected, right? So a common example for us that's easy for us to remember and relate to is the interdependence of a tree. A tree depends on soil. A tree depends on rain and sunshine to survive. And if we took the time to think about it, we would find that nothing is separated from a web of supporting conditions. Now, just to briefly talk about, I mentioned it may be difficult for us to be joyful for someone else and their success if it was something that I wanted and I worked very hard for but was unsuccessful, and I'm watching someone else be very successful. There could be jealousy there. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have seen the Netflix docu-series, and it's called Formula One. Regardless if you are a racing enthusiast or a car enthusiast, because I certainly am not. I ride a car because it gets me to and fro, and I would rather race in the car than watch the race. And part of that is probably because I didn't understand the race. And what I'm trying to get to, though, is that the series itself is very well done, and it brings you into the life of the team and especially the racer of the cars. And what we find is it is highly, highly, highly competitive, and all that they are doing, every single one of them is trying to be number one. And they will do anything to be number one. Coming in number two, you may get some money and stuff and keep the team going, but for the racers, it's a total loss and a total unsatisfactory season, and it's all about winning. So very interesting. So when I watch this, it really shows me how competitive we can be, how jealous we can be, not supportive of others when we really want something ourselves. And we got to remember that these Formula One drivers, I didn't realize it, but many of them who are into the professional circuit, they start when they're 3 years old riding karts, and they groom themselves up and to be able to drive these vehicles. Anyways, let's get back to now. If we can understand interdependence, then we will have the view that all beings are looking for happiness and want to be free from suffering. So if we are in this web and we want to be free from suffering and we want to be happy, then it makes sense that everyone else in the web wants the same thing. So this view of interdependence will naturally develop into a feeling of joy when others experience happiness and success. Now you can see how this view changes our thinking from a position of competition to a position of being content and living in accord with interdependence. So these Formula One drivers, they are not content to come in second at all. It's an amazing series to watch from a Buddhist perspective, to see just it's all about me. It's all about me. And it's really something. Now, during the Buddhist life, he taught about the importance of developing sincere joy in the spiritual progress and happiness of others. Once, the Buddha and Ananda were walking together when they came across a group of monks who were meditating. Ananda noticed that the monks seemed rather joyful and content. Ananda asked the Buddha, "Why are these monks experiencing such great joy?" And the Buddha explained the monks had just realized significant spiritual insights. And as a result of this, we're experiencing great joy. Ananda was the Buddha's primary attendant, and he was also one of the Buddhist's 10 closest and important disciples. He also did not achieve enlightenment while attending to the Buddha and listening to all of his sermons. Now, we might think that Ananda would be jealous or resent the spiritual success of the group of monks that were meditating. Instead of feeling jealous or competitive, Ananda rejoiced sincerely in their achievements, feeling genuinely happy for their progress. So this story highlights sympathetic joy, and it draws our attention to the importance of developing a view free from comparison and competition, and be able to celebrate the well-being and accomplishments of others. Remember, the remedy for jealousy is sympathetic joy. So there is a fictional story about a farmer and a golden Buddha. In a small village in ancient India, there lived a farmer named Govinda. Govinda was known for his hard work and simple life, and he worked in his fields with dedication every day. One day, while plowing his fields, Govinda stumbled upon something unusual buried in the earth. He uncovered a magnificent golden statue of the Buddha. Overwhelmed with the discovery, he realized that he had stumbled upon a great treasure. Word quickly spread throughout the village about this discovery. Villagers came from all over to see the golden Buddha. Some people whispered jealously about Govinda's newfound wealth, while others seemed happy for him. Among the villagers was a humble monk named Ananda, known for his gentle attitude and deep wisdom. When Ananda heard about Govinda's discovery, he decided to pay him a visit. Ananda greeted Govinda warmly and asked him about the golden Buddha. Govinda, filled with joy, recounted the story of his discovery and how it had brought unexpected blessings into his life. Moved by Govinda's sincerity, Ananda offered a heartfelt prayer for his well-being and the continued prosperity for the farm. He then turned to the golden Buddha and bowed deeply, expressing his own joy at witnessing such a beautiful and graceful statue. Now, in that moment, Govinda realized the true meaning of sympathetic joy, the practice of finding joy in the happiness and success of others. He understood that the golden Buddha was not just his own treasure, but a source of inspiration and joy for the entire village. From that day forward, Govinda welcomed visitors to his farm with open arms, shared the story of the golden Buddha and the lesson of sympathetic joy. The village became a place of harmony and goodwill, where people celebrated each other's joys and supported one another in times of need. Now, this story highlights sympathetic joy, and it draws our attention to the practice of developing the view to find joy in the happiness of others and develop a spirit of generosity, compassion, and gratitude. So I would like here, we talk about the Eightfold Path quite often. And talk about the Four Noble Truths. And when we think about the Four Noble Truths, the Four Noble Truth is talking about our human nature. So, we have a right view, understanding the Buddha's teaching. We have right intentions, follow the Buddha's teaching with sincere attitude. So already our view is how do we see things, and then our intentions. And we talked about intentions today from our Buddhist calendar, the Wise Teaching a Day, and that our actions and the intention behind our actions will determine whether our consequences are seen as good or bad. So, right speech. Speak truthfully in a helpful and positive way. So from our view generates intentions, and then actions are what we say based on our view and our intentions. And finally, right action. Behaving in a peaceful way, avoiding harming others. Now this is the right view according to the Buddha's teaching. But the Four Noble Truths talk about, at first it talks about the first noble truth, why life can be so difficult, and also the causes of it. And this is talking about our human nature. So, loving kindness comparison. We have a view. We could be, the view, our human nature is self-centered, and we could be angry about something. We have an intention behind that anger, which is to harm others. From that intention and that view, what we generate, what our actions are, is what we say. So we could be from that anger and wanting to harm others, we could lie or say harsh words. And then there's also our actions. Our actions can be one of harming others, or maybe it's stealing something to get back at somebody. So here's what the Eightfold Path and the Buddha's teachings are about loving kindness. Right view. Understand interdependence. So we talked about that web this morning. Everything is connected. If we can understand that, then we'll have a different view about others in the world. And to have loving kindness. Loving kindness, remember, is to wish that others may enjoy happiness. So, loving kindness is the remedy for hatred and anger, right? So, behind this intention, all living beings enjoy happiness. So I'm remembering interdependence, thinking about loving kindness, my intentions. May everyone I meet be happy, and may I not be the cause of their unhappiness. And then my speech will be positive and helpful, and what I do will be peaceful and kind. When we talked about compassion, so the view, self-centeredness, and the opposite of compassion is cruelty, thinking that I need to harm someone for some reason. The view that I have, if I get hurt, someone else is going to get hurt, or the world is a mean place, and I need to be meaner than everyone else in order to get ahead and survive. So the intention behind that is to create bodily or mental harm to someone else. Our speech will be, we could either lie, have harsh words, or divisive, dividing, trying to divide people. Our actions can be physical and mental harm. In comparison, the Buddha's teaching says, remember interdependence, everything's connected. Remember compassion. Compassion is the wish that others would be free from suffering. And if we can't really understand that, it's trying to put ourselves in the same situation. If someone else is suffering, imagine that we are suffering with them. So we're trying to help them overcome that. So what's the intention? All living beings free from suffering. That's the intention that I walk around with, from the view that I have. So all may be free from suffering. So if I'm out walking about, I don't have tendency to want to hurt someone or be on guard when I leave the house of saying, well, I'm going out, and if someone yells or says something that I don't like, they're going to really hear about it from me. No, we're thinking, I know that this world is not everyone's enjoying life. Not everyone has the same view or a right view, but I have a right view, and I'm not going to be the cause of someone else's suffering. I'm going to try to remember interdependence and to have a compassionate attitude. So our right speech will be positive and helpful, and our actions peaceful, kind, and compassionate. Sympathetic joy. If we don't have sympathetic joy, I'm thinking about myself, and I could be a jealous person. I don't want someone else to really be more successful than me. I don't want someone else to make more money than me. I don't want someone else to be more well-liked than me. I don't want someone else to have more things than me. I don't want someone to dress better than me. Right? I want everything to be about me. So my intentions are, I'm suspicious of other people perhaps, and I'm guarding what's mine. I'm not sharing it. I'm guarding it because I'm a jealous person, right? My speech, what will it be like? I could lie, be divisive, gossip, right? Try to change the scenario of things so other people can see my point of view. And then my actions could be aggression or manipulation. However, following sympathetic joy, bringing that into our lives, always interdependence we're talking about. That's the first noble truth. We're not living in accord with interdependence and impermanence. So sympathetic joy. If I have sympathetic joy, what is my view? My view is that it really doesn't matter what I have, because I am content with what I have. And if I see someone else who's won the lottery or have just graduated and become the most renowned doctor in the world, or become super famous as a celebrity, or has made it as a musician or something, I am really happy for them, right? Because I'm content with who I am, but I'm very happy for their success, enjoying what they've got. And they're part of the web, right? So they're part of the web. So their success, if I can enjoy their success, I'm going to enjoy life as well. So then my intentions are to share in the joy and the happiness of others. That's my intentions always. I want to share in the joy and happiness of others. I don't want to, I'm not going to visit with them today because they did something so much better than me, and I don't want to be with them, right? It's not that way. It's like, oh yeah, it's share in the joy. But Buddhism, we talk about sharing the joy and the sadness when we read about it, the teachings, right? It's not just to pick and choose, but to share in what life throws at us, I guess, is a good way of saying it. So then, if we have sympathetic joy in our minds and our intentions, our speech will be positive and truthful, and our actions, we will offer congratulations, we will offer kindness, and we will be generous. This is the Four Noble Truths. There is suffering. Suffering has an origin. Suffering can cease, and there is a path out of suffering. So last 3 weeks, we talked about the remedy for anger and hatred, the remedy for cruelty, and the remedy for jealousy. These are good things for us to think about. I'd like to end the service now and let you know that there's hot tea downstairs, and if anybody wants to enjoy some hot tea before you go, or a little discussion, and if anybody is interested in the chanting practice, it'll be at 11:30, and today I'm going to be focusing on the Japanese vowels for a few minutes again, and then the chanting of Eiko is the final chant that we do at the end of all of our chants. So we'll go through that. So please join me in Gasho as we end our service by calling out the Buddha's name with gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Namo. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure and honor to be part of this service, and I look forward to seeing you all